What's the deal with boxers? And this is something that I recently learned: paying fees for belts. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, that's normal.
You got to pay a fee to keep your belt after you already earned it.
No, you pay the fee when you fight.
Oh, you just pay the fee for the fight?
Yeah, it's called sanctioning fee.
Is that fair?
Yeah. You fight for their belt, you better pay their damn money, because if you don't have a belt, you're not making as much money anyways.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, let's say like this. If, let's say for instance, right, you find me a deal for, I don't know, $1 million, but you want 300,000. Okay. That's a lot of money. But I wouldn't have had $1 million to begin with if it wasn't for you.
If it wasn't for finding the fight.
Okay, the same shit. They're the ones regulating all the fights, all the rankings, all the stuff to put people in position to fight. So pay the sanctioning fee. Stop being a chief.
I think to a lot of people, it just comes as a surprise. You got to pay for it. It's like belts in martial arts. When they find out you got to sometimes pay for your belt, they're like, "Didn't you earn that?" So for the public, that's a hard thing to wrap their mind around. Yeah, but I mean,
martial arts, man, you got to pay for like the, the ranking fees and stuff like that. It's the same thing, but like
it's just part of the
if you they're the ones regulating all the stuff. Who should be fighting who's the mandatory? Without them, there would be no mandatory.
Pay the house, right?
You have to. It's like it's exactly pay the house. So yeah, pay them. You wouldn't have you wouldn't be champion if you didn't anyway.
Right.
So I don't care about that. Pay them.
What's the difference between WBA and WBC titles? And could you hold both of them?
Yeah, you can hold all four. You can hold the WBC, WBO, IBF, WBA, and the ring all at the same time. Mm-hmm. But there's the only difference really amongst all the belts though is like if with the IBF belt, they most of the time they have a 10-pound rehydration clause. Which I don't know if it changes through weight, but for 135, 140, and all the way up to 147, I think it's 10 pounds. I've never had an IBF belt, so I can't really say.
I've been asking this question a bit, thinking about the Ring Magazine's best pound for pound fighters. Does that, when you look at those lists,
I don't care about the pound for pound fighter list. Like I said, they have Shakur over Devin, but Devin's a much more accomplished fighter. Make that make sense. Make that make sense to me. You can name some Devin Haney opponents. You can't name no Shakur opponents.
Is Shakur in there?
Yeah, Shakur, they have ranked number 8 or 7 or some shit. They have Shakur ranked above Tank. They don't even have Tank on the rankings. So, and who's more accomplished? Shakur or Tank? Well, I'm asking you. I know you gotta be biased because Shakur was on his.
No. I don't gotta be biased. I'm vocal about saying I don't feel. I personally don't feel that way.
Like I said, I just can't. Like I said, I mean, anyone else can say like, who's more accomplished, Shakur or Tank? Obviously, Tank. Who's more accomplished, Devin or Shakur? Obviously, Devin. So why is Shakur ranked above them? Politics. I don't care about that stupid pound for pound ranking. I care about beating the shit out of people.
Speaking of politics, right? You see a lot of these fighters when Roach and Tank fought, and not even to get into their fight, to get into this side of it, it ends up in a draw, and the narrative is always you got to beat the champ. These fighters that are coming in there.
Okay, let me break down the Tank-Roach fight before we continue about the beat the champion stuff, right? Other than the knockdown, that wasn't a knockdown, but whatever, right? Other than that, take that out of the equation. Can you remember anything else that happened in that fight?
I do.
You can.
Yeah. I think Roach stayed in the pocket and traded blows the entire time. It looked like he was the enforcer for that fight, in my opinion. He looked strong.
Was there any completely definitive rounds by either person?
I don't think it was absolutely definitive, no.
It was a draw. I personally, I watched the fight twice, and I can't remember anything other than the bullshit knockdown. That wasn't even a knockdown.
Yeah. But he didn't get deducted a point for that or anything. So.
No. So like I said, it was a draw. It was a draw. Like if you can't remember what happened in the fight, it's a draw.
Yeah. So the question I was going to ask
you can't really remember if this person was really beating this person, because it was just boom, 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 boom. It was the same. It was that pace the whole damn time.
I just feel like he took Tank out of his game though, and that was the first time he didn't seem on his rhythm. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely felt that.
I truly like, but that also didn't seem like just Tank in general, and
so is that Lamar and Tank's fault?
And I will tell you this, Tank, I know for a fact, was sparring a 122 pounder, and that was the only person he sparred all camp. Literally all camp that he sparred a 122 pounder.
Was he tall at least?
No, he's shorter than Tank.
Bro.
Or him and Tank same height. Like I said, Tank wasn't really training.
Why do you feel that?
And I'm not going to take anything away from Roach. Roach is a tremendous fighter, bro. He's a really good fighter, man, dude. He beat Hector Garcia, and then, he took the belt from him, and he came up, and I know he's a lot more durable and stronger at 135,
He's also seen Tank the most in previous fights before.
Like they already had 2 fights.
Yeah, so that's why I figured if anybody
2 fights,
Tank
and Roach, they fought twice before in the amateurs.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, they had history and they sparred a good amount of times apparently and all that stuff. Yeah, but
so you think a rematch? Do you think this remotivated Tank? And do you think a rematch Tank just goes in and wins that fight?
I don't know, bro. We gotta see. We gotta see what like if it was a Tank that was a lot more like
Yeah.
This Tank didn't really have a killer instinct.
Mm-hmm.
This Tank wasn't gonna have a killer instinct.
Too much hair gel.
And I will tell you, hair gel, nail paint, all that other stuff. But I'm not gonna talk shit about Tank.
I know.
Nah, I'm not. I'm definitely not gonna talk shit about Tank right now.
For sure.
Tank's a tremendous fighter, bro, and
he is. I definitely
you can't take anything away from Tank.
So the question I was gonna ask you though is, when it comes to that narrative, you got to beat the champ to beat a champ. Sometimes some of these fighters go in relatively unknown at the time. They go in there, they give their all. And I'm not talking about that specific fight. But if a fighter looks like they, slightly won that fight, do you believe, like when the judges say, well, you got to beat the champ? Is that something that you agree with? You
got to realize, bro, if you're not champion, they already won. They're already up 2 rounds.
Yeah.
If you're not champion, if you're not A-side, they're already up 2 rounds, so you gotta win 8 rounds. Or wait, I'm not doing that. Yeah, you gotta win. They're up 2 rounds, so you gotta win. You gotta win at least 8 rounds.
You gotta win 8 of them.
Yeah, you gotta win at least 8 rounds.
Do you think that's fair?
Yeah. Who's bringing the money? Usually the A-side, right?
Yeah. Politics.
Yeah.
Politics as usual. Do you feel
and aside from that, judging fights is all purely, it all varies from, you might like a dude that jabs, you might like a dude that like to go for, you might like a dude that will box off his back foot and just make it miss, while you like aggressive fighters.
Wow.
That's why that's why so many judges. That's why it's like, okay, you don't know what they're judging. Now what truly is bullshit, whatever judge gave me 115, 112. That whatever judge gave me, that shit was bullshit. Because they clearly were trying to help Ryan with the judges, but because he wasn't winning the fight at any moment.
How are the judges selected? Is it like a lottery? Is it by state?
Also, also like the judge, there's like I said, there's certain judges. Like for instance, the judge that gave, I think it was like Levy or something. I forgot what his name. The one that gave Canelo, Floyd a split decision against Canelo. In what world did Canelo win a single round? So you tell me, so people like that, they need to just be kicked out of boxing, or they need to check if they got like cataracts or some shit,
You don't think it's outdated, the 3 judges, like they need to find a different scoring system? Because I feel
I think
don't we always say after fights that they're getting it wrong? It seems like it's always the case. We always go into a fight after the 12th round, everybody's nervous, nobody knows what could happen.
Nah. A lot of the fights that you think somebody won, you rewatch and you realize why they didn't win. Like for instance, like Canelo and Lara, right? Watching it the first time, and I with Lara heavy, right? Watching it first time, right, in live, I'm like, yeah, dude, Lara outbox this dude. But they don't see, but then you watch it and I see, Lara shelled up a lot when Canelo was letting off to the body. And yeah, Lara landed the way cleaner shots, but Canelo output was a lot more. And he was the one coming forward. But when I watched the fight originally, it was like, the fuck did they rob Lara? So rewatch the fight.
You don't think Skull was running his ass off to make it difficult for Canelo to cut off the ring with him? Because he was running.
Bruh, I don't even know who Skull is.
Yeah. You ain't lying.
I'm Cuban, bro. I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. I've never even heard of him or any of that stuff. But I'll tell you like this, man. He a track star.
He's a runner. He's a track star. He was definitely moving. And, I want to let you go, but one of the final questions I want to ask you is, Dana White is getting into boxing. Do you feel boxing would be better served if it was mandatory? Like you're going to fight him instead of the way it is now?
It is. You have mandatories.
Yeah, but it's more like people duck fights all the time.
They duck fights because they're all under different promoters and people. They'll sit around. They're like, oh well, I'll just take step aside money, right?
Yeah,
and they'll go let somebody fight instead of them because they want to get an extra, I don't know, 100,000 for not fighting, or something,
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's just everyone's under a different promoter. That's all it is. There's no. What Dana White is doing, I can't even speak on it because I truly don't even know what he's doing. I know he's giving everybody a base pay and all that stuff, right? But it's not a lot of money, especially if you're a champ.
Yeah.
It's whatever money. Like I said, I can't speak bad on it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how it is. I mean, he's giving people guaranteed money, guaranteed fights, but like I said, I don't know. I can't speak on it.
Yeah.
I'm in the pay-per-view bracket. I'm at the top. I've done what, 3 pay-per-views now?
Come on.
I've headlined 3 pay-per-views now, Because me and Pitbull was a double header. I've headlined 3 pay-per-views now. So I can't even think about like that. I've never had to go through that part of my career. I skipped from no money to a lot of money in one fight.
Yeah.
So,
you seem like, the reason I ask you that specifically is you seem like one of those guys, even hearing you speak both times that we spoke. Actually, all 3 times because we did a Zoom interview too. But like you seem like you want to go out, you want to fight the best.
I want to fight the best.
Let's go.
Yeah, I always want to just sit down and fight the best. The people want to go fight other people, want to go duck around, all that stuff. Like I said, none of these guys. Look, everyone's like, "Oh, I called out this person. I called that. Oh, wait. You know what? I'm gonna add Shakur into this one again too, man. I'll tell you like this. This is the one dude that he's like, okay, Devin had all the belts. Okay, and Shakur moves up in weight and wants to fight Devin, right? Shakur was asking for a 50-50 split or 40-60. Devin's like, I'll give you 25% split. Motherfucker's like, oh no, not enough money. But you're saying you're the best, you could beat them. It's about money. These guys, they'll sell their ass for money. So, yeah. Who's ducking who? If I have all the belts and you have nothing to offer me, take your 25% and shut up. Right or wrong?
Right.
But no, I want 50% or 40%, whatever he asked for. It don't work like that. That's why there's these fights not being made because everybody talk. Even Devin, right? When I had the belt, when I had the championship at 35, right? He literally called. He tried to make the fight with me and him, right? He wanted $8 million and me get $100K.
Dang.
So, I called out Rodley. I sent him a contract. Did he really send me a contract? Does that sound like, oh, by the way, and I sell way more tickets than you? Does that really sound like you want to fight?
Sound like you don't want that fight.
That sounds like, well, right, Nick, you motherfucker, you never even made that money. You've never made that money before. You're gonna tell me? So no, it's not this. It's these guys all fight for money and they'll sell their ass for money.
Mm.
It has nothing to do with wanting to fight the best or belts. Me, at least me, I everyone can say, I fight for belts. I fight to try to be better. And I'll give you the other one who is like that. There's two other people that are like that will fight for belts and say fuck the money. Teofimo, who he will literally sit down and he will fight for belts. He'll go after legacy. And Lomachenko, he did go after belts and didn't go after money. Everybody else, they're all going after money.
Homosexuals are gonna love that one.
Yeah. That's the way I will give the homosexuals that one. Lomachenko has declined money to fight. You know.
Yeah, of course.
So, and I'll give you another example. Kovalev with Andre Ward. He wanted to rematch so bad he gave Andre Ward his whole purse to fight.
Damn.
Whoa.
And he was just surviving off the pay-per-view share, which didn't hit pay-per-view buys, so he made not a single dollar. That hurts.
Business.
And he got hit with low blows.
So I definitely appreciate you for coming through. I know, you could tell me whatever you want. I know you are the happiest son of a bitch in the world because you can see it written all over your face. You're out here. I just know. Dusty, he's happy. Yeah, he's happy as hell. I know that win was a lot for you. And it was being an underdog, having all the doubters, myself included, which I'm not mad to be proven wrong because I sat down here with you. I know you're a phenomenal fighter as well. And it was dope to see. And it was dope to see you have your moment right there. Because it's like everybody say, oh, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. Second round, punish him. And then you could see the look of your face like, you know what I mean? I'm back. Because they put you right up top of the world. Right
look at all the press conferences. I just sat down quietly with a smile on my face watching all my kids fight. And in the world of chaos, I literally I knew exactly what was going to happen.